Well, I love doing this a lot. I love starting a series all the time. But probably in this moment in time, I might not necessarily do a series, but I just again might, because the subject that I want us to address today is about the fulfillment of purpose. Is it an event or is it a process? Why am I asking this question? I am posing this question because very many times I've been told by people actually arguing, telling me that the purpose of life is to be happy. The reason as to why I'm alive is to be happy. Of course, that has given me a problem, and I want to address that act. I want to address that positing by answering this question: is a fulfillment of purpose an event or a process? You want to stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
So come to think about it, is it an event or is it a process? Purpose fulfillment. Well, let me just give you this. First of all, you have to look around you and ask yourself. In fact, don't even ask yourself. Ask the people around you. Ask them, are you on purpose? Are you living your purpose, or have you discovered your purpose? Or in your purpose discovery and in your purpose deployment, what level are you at? Where are you at? Ask about 8 people or even just 12 people and do your own analysis. Of the 8 or 12 people that you've asked, how many, number 1, have discovered their purpose? How many, number 2, are absolutely given to it and they're fulfilling it? How many are fulfilled by the kind of life that they're living? Those are 3 parameters that you need to look at. You find very interesting results from that data that you're going to collect. It's going to be very interesting. It's no longer going to be theory that the purpose of life is to be happy. In fact, ask them, number 4, how many of them are happy? And get the results. See, Einstein told us something, that not all that counts can be counted, and not all that can be counted counts. According to Dr. Miles Monroe, the guy who passed away years back, the most profound speech that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., remember Martin Luther King Jr.? This guy is one of the most quoted people all over the world. According to Miles Monroe, of course, Miles Monroe was a leadership coach, is a purpose coach, is a preacher, an entrepreneur, a millionaire, and so on. He must have studied the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So according to him, according to Miles Monroe, he thinks that the greatest speech that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave wasn't the I Have a Dream speech. It wasn't the I Have a Dream speech. Of course, there is nothing that can be taken away from that particular speech that was issued at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. There is absolutely nothing that can be taken away from it. And I've categorized it here as one of the greatest speech ever in one of my articles on my blog, it is one of the greatest speech ever. But I have also told you that there is yet another greatest speech ever in that particular article. And probably I have in fact talked about it on one of these episodes, and I told you that the greatest speech ever, oh God, I'm digressing. The greatest speech ever is not issued by a big orator and with a big crowd, but the greatest speech ever is issued in obscurity to one person speaking to himself and psyching himself up. But that's for another day. But according to Dr. Miles Monroe, Martin Luther King Jr.'s most profound speech was the last he ever delivered. And I googled that speech. Actually, I got a video of that speech, and it's electrifying. And in part, Dr. King said, "It doesn't matter anymore." He said, "I don't know what will happen to me now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it doesn't matter to me now, because I have been to the mountaintop and I've seen the promised land. I've been to the mountaintop, and I won't mind. Like anybody else, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go to the mountain, and I've been over there. I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I might not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people, we will get there. We will get to the promised land." Barack Obama quoted this in his inaugural speech. And Martin Luther King Jr. continues, says, "I am so happy tonight. I am not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming Lord." Now listen to this. The following morning, Martin Luther King Jr. was gunned down the following day. He will forever be young in our eyes. His voice will forever ring in our ears through all generations. He was felled by an assassin's bullet after telling us he's been to the promised land, he's seen it, and as a people, we will get there. Now, was his life a life of purpose? Was it fulfilled as an event, or was it fulfilled as a process? That question about purpose can easily be answered without taking in consideration what another great soul earlier on shared with us. He stood almost single-handedly against Hitler's army and refused to give up. Sir Winston Spencer Leonard Churchill, he said the following. He said, "There comes a special moment in everyone's life, a moment for which that person was born. That special opportunity, when he seizes it, will fulfill his mission, a mission for which he is uniquely qualified. In that moment, he finds greatness. It is his finest hour." So stop and think about that. Think about the gravity of what Winston Churchill was saying. He's basically telling us that at times, our greatness depends on rising on the occasion, or rising to the occasion at an event and doing that which we were meant to do from the get-go, the reason as to why we were born. An event of stopping a Hitler, an event of stepping on the moon, an event of a Mother Teresa, an event of a great soul like Pope John Paul II, an event like the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. See, for Jesus Christ, the event was his death and his resurrection from the dead. For Churchill, the event was the stubbornness and resistance against the Nazis that led to his victory For Paul the Apostle, the event was his incarceration in Rome, where he wrote the 2/3 of the New Testament. So I've run out of examples of the finest hours for obvious reasons. Because the paradox is that, yes, we were born to serve our finest hours, all of us, but no, those are not necessarily events. I will never forget my fervency in quest for knowing my purpose in life more than maybe 2 decades ago. Do you know what I was looking for? I was looking for an event, for God to open the skies and tell me in a loud audible voice, Lawrence, I created you and I called you to do A, B, C, and D, in bold letters, spelling it and underlining it. I wanted God to point to me the path of my finest hour. Believe me, I have never been so passionate about a prayer like I've been about that one. But that prayer, the way I wanted it answered in an event, never happened. And I'm going to tell you why we need to answer this question tomorrow. Is fulfillment of purpose an event, or is it a process? Until then, bye-bye and stay tuned.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.